You do realize that if brains were currency, you'd be broke, right? I am beyond tired of seeing this nonsense pop up in my comment section, so let's settle it once and for all right now. And no, I'm not going to be polite about it. Consider this your trigger warning. There's going to be adult content, foul language, and if you are one of the people still trying to link Prime Minister Mark Carney to the Kushner-Brookfield lease deal, you're going to leave this post feeling pretty shitty about yourself. And you know what? That's okay. That's fine. You should. Because if you're still pushing that debunked fantasy, congratulations. You may be the dumbest person in any room you walk into, and right now that does include the Oval Office. Honestly, I wouldn't trust you to assemble IKEA furniture, let alone a coherent political argument. Here's the actual timeline for those of you who avoid Google like you owe it money. The lease for 666 Fifth Avenue, yes, the devil's own fixer-upper, was signed in 2018 between Kushner Companies and Brookfield. Mark Carney didn't even start working for Brookfield until 2020. That's 2 full years for the math impaired. He joined as vice chair and head of ESG, which stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance. That's the team worrying about climate risk and corporate ethics, not brokering real estate deals in Manhattan. So unless Carney has a time machine and was sneaking around in a pinstripe suit doing shadow negotiations by moonlight, he had zero involvement in that fucking lease. And I don't care what your dipshit cousin who delivers a political podcast from the driver's seat of his lifted F-150 has to say, or what conspiracy theory he's managed to pluck out of the ether. Carney is Prime Minister of Canada. Do you honestly think his financial records haven't been picked apart more aggressively than a celebrity prenup? His disclosures are public. His entire resume has been stress-tested harder than a SpaceX rocket, and every journalist with Wi-Fi and a grudge has been digging through his past like there's a Pulitzer buried in it. If there was even a hint of shady business, it wouldn't be rotting in some Reddit thread where only the painfully ignorant go for world news. It would be blowing up the front page of the Globe and Mail, Financial Times, and every other outlet with a functioning editor and a nose for scandal. So let it go. Yes, Canadians should question their leaders. Democracy isn't a trust fall, but there's a difference between holding power to account and playing political clue with half the pieces missing and the board flipped upside down. Carney didn't sign that lease. He didn't even work for the damn company. Did he benefit from it? Maybe. Just like millions of other private citizens who owned Brookfield stock at that time, because that's what Carney was. A private citizen with a diversified portfolio. You know, the kind of stock your RRSP or pension is likely invested in. So unless you're living completely off-grid and trading goats for groceries, there's a decent chance you profited too. Which makes your outrage not just misinformed, but hilariously hypocritical. And just for the record, Pierre Poilievre also owns Brookfield stock, through ETFs, but it still counts. So if Carney's a villain in your conspiracy theory, then guess what? Your boy Pierre is guilty by your own dumb logic. But you don't care, because this was never about facts. It's about throwing mud and hoping no one notices. It's just dirt and desperation. You're out there smashing your keyboard on a public forum, confidently wrong, when a 30-second Google search could have saved you the embarrassment. But no. You went full conspiracy theorist instead, and now I and thousands of others get to watch you choke on the literal facts that I'm serving you. Bon appetit, motherfucker.